Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Can we talk with Monique? I am Monique. Thank you for joining me. So guys, this is the video that I wanted to do today about the Fani Willis hearings today. And y'all, I think, I don't know, but some of this testimony is opening up some can of worms. So Terrence Bradley, okay, he testified later in the day. He's the last person. Now, if y'all don't remember, there was some things going on at the beginning of the day where they were waiting for him to testify. But apparently, Mr. Bradley was at a doctor's appointment, so people were waiting for him to get to the testimony. But after the testimony, his testimony was abruptly ended for the day. Judge McAfee indicated that he doubted whether Bradley had been interpreting properly the attorney-client privilege this entire time. So I think we're going to see Mr. Terrence Bradley again. And one of the prosecutors, if I'm not mistaken, named Anna Cross, I don't know if they're trying to indicate whether or not there's some perjury going on. So y'all, this is something that I'm just like, wow. So Terrence Bradley, he was partner in a law firm in Cobb County. It was Wade, Bradley, and Campbell. And apparently Terrence Bradley was one of the attorneys that worked on Nathan Wade's divorce from his wife. So when he came in today, they were asking him questions, and he was invoking that privilege, that attorney-client privilege that only, can be known not to the whole world, but to the attorney and the client. Well, the attorney privilege anyway. And so he was invoking that. But then there was some questioning that took place, and basically Judge McAfee was like, look, I don't think that you've interpreted the privilege statute incorrectly. And I'm like, but this was a very uncomfortable, you could see he was very tense. He was very perplexed. It was very awkward. You could see that he was nervous. And these people don't seem, these are attorneys, for Christ's sake. Don't they know how to answer these questions? It was like pulling teeth, like pulling a wisdom tooth. And these people are attorneys. And let me just say this, becoming an attorney is no small feat. I have several friends that are attorneys, and when they were going and reading all this case study, child, and then trying to pass that bar exam, I don't know if you remember JFK Jr., God rest the dead. It took him, 5 times, or I don't know how many times. So if you are a lawyer and you pass that bar exam, congratulations to you, because you earned some of these license and examinations are harder sometimes than getting a degree. I'm just saying, except for things like in medicine, because then you got to still take a licensure exam and things of that nature. So it's hard, with some of these professions. But some of these people are just not articulate. You like, are you really a lawyer? Like, because we expect that level of professionalism and decorum. So when we see people struggling to answer a question and can't articulate, it's like, what's going on with you, bro? What is going on with you, brother? But this is where now I know why he was having such a hard time. Let's listen to some of the questioning, and I'll come back with my commentary. But y'all, I think some skeletons is coming out closets. And, as a result of this case, is it going to change anything else? I don't know. But, oh, my goodness. I was squirming in my seat. Let's listen.
Yes, I said yes, that is correct.
Okay. And while you didn't socialize together frequently, you considered yourself a friend of Mr. Wade at that time?
Yes, we were friends at that time, yes.
All right. You are no longer business partners.
That is correct.
You are no longer friends.
Okay, let me just, hold on one second. Let me just speed this up. It's a commercial. You know how these commercials are, y'all. Let me just get past this commercial.
If he's saying that we're not friends, then yeah.
I want to know what you think, Mr. Bradley. Do you consider yourself a friend of Mr. Wade?
I don't consider.
It goes to potential bias.
Thank
Ms. Cross.
Would I consider myself a friend of Mr. Wade?
Mm-hmm.
I would.
You were asked questions, Mr. Bradley, about the circumstances under which you left the firm. Do you recall those questions?
I do.
All right. And you left the firm. The firm remained the same as far as other employees, Mr. Wade, Mr. Campbell, as the named partners of the firm. You were the one who left, correct?
That is correct.
And you termed it as a disagreement.
Okay, so this is the part where they're asking him, you know, you no longer, do you consider yourself a friend of Nathan Wade's? You know, you're no longer in a business agreement with him. He said that was correct. He said, well, you know, you left. She asked the question, you left the firm. He was like, yeah, that's correct. But now what were the circumstances that you left the firm? And this is where it gets a little dicey. Y'all, let's listen to see what he has to say and what she has to say, because he's struggling right now. He's struggling.
You recall answering questions as though you left due to a disagreement. Yes?
Yes.
Now, he called it a disagreement, the reason why he left. But, honey, this attorney is going through the paperworks and getting her information out. His face does not look really good. He looks very nervous. He did not want this to come out because all of his peers are watching this. The whole world is watching. So as a result of that, and I think he's married. So I don't know if he told his wife, maybe he really was going to the doctor to get some medication to calm down. Because a lot of this information, you know, whether it's true or not, everybody is watching. So when you know, this is on a Friday. This is all people are on the phone, texting. What? Yep. Now, I don't know if he has kids or anything. This is, let's listen to what she's getting the documentation out and going to tell why allegedly he left the firm.
And that disagreement was that there was an allegation of sexual assault by an employee made against you, correct?
That is incorrect.
There was not an allegation that you assaulted.
So she's asking, was the reason why was it related to SA? And he's saying it's not correct. But let's listen to what she's saying.
That you sexually assaulted one of the employees in the firm.
That is incorrect, but yes.
Yes, he
Yes.
finally
Yes,
had to
there was
answer yes. He tried to say incorrect. He didn't want to answer it. And I understand, but it's out here now. You could see it's almost like he looks relieved to me.
Allegation that you sexually assaulted a member of the firm, correct?
Yes, there was an allegation, yes.
And as a result of that allegation, you left.
I did.
And you were no longer business partners with Mr. Wade.
That is correct.
The firm remained intact, and in fact, the employee involved remained with the firm, correct?
I'm not certain of that. They did leave the building, of course, and I don't know. Some employees did leave.
Mr. Bradley, you in fact paid that employee $20,000, correct?
That is
Wow. So this is the struggle bus that I'm seeing here. She's like, you in fact did pay that employee who said that you SA'd her $20,000. That is incorrect. It's like, I know where $20,000 went. It's either to pay the bills, I gave it to somebody, or paid the bills. There's no in between here. This is not looking good.
That is incorrect as far as what was. No.
On or about the time that you left the firm, and on or about the time that the allegation of sexual assault was made against you, did you pay the person who had made the allegation of sexual assault any amount of money?
There was money left in an.
She asked a specific question. The person who said he essayed or allegedly essayed her, she's like, did you pay them any amount of money? It's either yes or no. And he goes into, there was money left in an escrow account. And she was like, you left it there when you left the agency. Listen, this, I tell you, this is not looking good, Terrence. Terrence Bradley, this ain't looking good, bruh.
The escrow that belonged to me, I don't know what that amount was.
And did that money that was left in the escrow that belonged to you, was that paid to the employee who said that you sexually assaulted her?
I never signed any, I never gave any money. I left the money in the escrow account. What happened to that money? I can't, I don't know what happened to it.
For what purpose did you leave the money in the escrow
Right.
account when you left the firm?
She asked him, what purpose did you leave? So basically he's saying there was money in the escrow account. And when he left employment there, he left it. It was money in his name. And she was like, well, why did you leave it? If you got money in an account, $20K, and it's yours, you're going to take it when you leave. But apparently it looks to me, allegedly, in my opinion, he knew where that money was going to go. And he knew what was in there. And he knew where it was going to go to. And why? This don't look good, Terrence. It really, really don't, brother.
I left the money in the escrow account.
For what purpose, sir?
There was no purpose.
You just left the money in the escrow account?
Yes.
If there's no connection to the money you left in the escrow account and the allegations of sexual assault that an employee of your firm made against you, why was it that you brought to my attention? Why did you respond the way you did about money in an escrow account when my question was, did you pay this employee any money?
I didn't hand any money. It was money from my escrow account, to my knowledge.
To your knowledge, where did the money in the escrow account go?
To the employee.
To that employee.
That's what she was asking. And so this was painful. It was, you could see that he was very, very, you could just feel the energy there. Like he didn't want to admit this. So I'm going to assume he's never told anybody this. No one ever knew. Maybe his family, friends, and maybe his wife didn't know. This is really, really, they suspended his testimony because Judge McAfee is like, wait a minute, you know, your reason for leaving is not attorney-client privilege. So we can ask you those questions. As far as the dates are concerned, he was no longer representing the wife of Nathan Wade. Of course, when he was told to leave, he no longer represented her. So there's no attorney, there's no privilege there that he can invoke, is what I'm assuming. I'm not a lawyer, so the lawyers let me know. But this was very, very horrible to watch. And it was difficult for me to listen to because I'm like, wait a minute, there's some young lady. This is not looking good. It is just not looking good, y'all. And Terrence Bradley, this is all over the place, all over the news. And he's an attorney. I don't know if he has his own practice. I don't know who would want him to represent him on a case. Even see, these things alleged, it still is like a smear. You know, I don't know what ended up happening. Did he just walk away and $20,000 was supposed to, what was that, hush money? I'm like, what's going on here? $20,000 is supposed to suffice, but yet, you know, this person is still practicing, but I don't know if it was ever proven. I don't know what happened, but this sounds kind of, look, the questioning was suspended. I think we're going to see Terrence Bradley again. Maybe this was why he was late. He did not want to testify because he knew this was coming out. I don't know. I'm just assuming. And maybe he went to go get something to calm his nerves because you got to do that walk of shame going home. You know, you don't rejoice at stuff like this. You know, I didn't know that this stuff was going to come out today. But this is the same thing that I was speaking about in reference to Fani y Willis. When you get into this echelon and you knew this Trump thing was coming out, I would have probably thought twice before taking a job because I'm like, I know these people going to go deep into everything that I've ever done. You know, when my first baby tooth fell out or, you know, anything. So this is really crazy, y'all. Tell me what y'all thought about his testimony. It's like pulling the wisdom tooth. You could never get an answer. Hard pressed. I'm like, are these attorneys? What's going on? You know? So I really don't know what's going to happen in this case. And I don't know with perjury. People do go to jail, don't they? I know Kwame did. So I hope people haven't perjured themselves, because now I hear about these Delta miles. They had to get some information from Delta. Look, you cannot commit crimes, especially digitally, because we all have a digital footprint. There's nothing that you can do and get away from at this point in time. And people can do all of that with the VPN and trying to, everything has a serial number. Look, they know how to track you down. Okay. Even burner phones, the legal, pharmacists, the illegal pharmacists used to use burner phones all the time. You can still get tracked by that. So this man was struggling on the struggle bus to answer questions. And, like I said, it takes a lot to become an attorney, but y'all be using it's always like a play on words. I see, it's like a word game with y'all, it really, really is. But this is like allegations of misconduct, in everybody that were running in these circles. The reason for him leaving wasn't that he left willingly because he wanted to. It was allegations of misconduct, which was SA. And so, no, ma'am, that privilege, I don't think even applies at this case. But again, I'm not an attorney, so I really don't know. But I think we're going to see Terrence Bradley, and I don't know if he's going to drop dime on everybody, but I didn't expect this to come out. And, my next video follows up to this, because this is another person who was in the law firm. And this is just a mess. And that's why one of the things I don't, you can go out and have colleagues. When I used to be a consultant and I would travel all around, and everybody would want to go to dinner, but they drank. I didn't drink liquor. And so I didn't really, it's not that I didn't want to socialize, but they would be getting drunk, really. And I didn't want to be a part of that. But all I can say is, with some jobs, your employer, you can socialize, but they're not your friends. And sometimes it's good to keep a healthy distance when you're working with people. Okay. You don't need to be a Facebook friend. I don't believe in that. When you're working on your job, you don't need to be Facebook friends with people. You don't need to tell them all of your business, because it will get out there. You don't need to do all of that. Trust me, these people are not your friends. And if something hits the fan, it's going to hit the fan. But let me know what y'all think about Terrence Bradley's, Nathan Wade's former partner in the law firm, Wade, Bradley and Campbell. Now it's just Wade Campbell. And I think they do like family law and stuff like that. But he was on the struggle bus with answering questions today. Really on a struggle bus. And it's hard pressed to believe that some of these people are attorneys. No offense to attorneys, because y'all have to go through a lot to get where you got to go. And that bar is no joke. But I'm looking at him like, dude. But I think I don't know if he was medicated, but he was struggling. He didn't want to say yes, because I know his colleagues, his peers, the whole world is watching. And so it was really sad to see this, because trying to get a job in the future, people associating with you in the future, your career, maybe you have a spouse or a girlfriend. And this is coming out for the first time. I don't think he's told anybody about this at all. I don't think so. And my thing is, what's behind the $20K? Was that to pay her off? Did she file or press any charges against this person? Or was that supposed to be the payoff? And if, did they call the cops? Did Nathan Wade call the popo and have this investigated? Or was it left, you need to leave, and we're going to give her what's escrow in your account? That doesn't know. If a crime was committed, then the popo should have been called. This is looking ugly. All of this. I ain't co-signing on this mess. But y'all, let me know what y'all think about this testimony. I don't think we've seen the last of Terrence Bradley. This is the Fani y Willis hearing, day number 2. I think the hearing will resume late next week per Judge McAfee. He's probably going to go home, get some dinner, and just collapse, maybe play his cello, listen to some music, and just wind down. Everybody should, but I know Terrence is probably doing a long, it's not looking good, bro. It's just not looking good. All right, y'all. I see you guys on the next video. Like, share, subscribe. But if this was the hardest, I'm like, what? I mean, at least Fani, she did the most and she was doing the much and she explained herself away. This one here was like pulling teeth, like trying to pull a wisdom tooth. I mean, he was, well, no, yeah. Well, no, but yeah. It's like, wait a minute. Which one is it? Because he knew this was going to come out. They didn't start off with the questioning right away. They started off slow and they ended up with this, a mess. I just tell you, it's a hot mess. All right, y'all, like, share, subscribe, hit that little bell, and I will see you guys on the next upload.